Hey guys, what's up? My name is Kendra. Welcome back to my channel, and today I have a special friend on my channel. This is Kass. She's my trainer, and she is doing a fitness competition in 2 weeks in Colombia, and we're super excited. And today we're actually going to be doing her makeup, and we're going to be doing it competition style. And so this is actually going to be split up into 2 videos. The first video is going to be base, and the second video is going to be all about the eyes and lips. So if you guys want to see how we get her going from this to an after shot that we'll do later, keep on watching. Okay, so first we're going to be going in with primer. Now, since competition days, you're usually going from early in the morning to pretty late into the evening, afternoon-ish. You want to make sure that you have some good primers. So we're going to be going in with a Banana Bright primer from Ole Henriksen and the Hydro Grip primer from Milk. So for our foundation today, I'm actually going to be using the Makeup Forever foundation palette. This is going to be a really good tool to have because it does have so many colors that you can mix. So you can have your contour colors, your foundation colors, and your highlight colors. And if you're traveling, this is going to be the way to go. So today we're going to keep it closer to her natural color right now, but for comparison, for competition, this is the shade that Kass usually wears. So a little bit different, a little bit darker, like 10-20 shades darker. But it is really important to match your spray tans. But it's also important, especially for being on stage with the intensity of lights that they have, to make sure that you have enough shadow and light, which is what we're going to kind of cover today. So just taking a couple of the shades and just mixing them together. Just going to start bouncing it on. And you can either go in with a brush or with the beauty sponge. I do find with doing makeup for events or places where there's going to be a lot of light, a brush is usually better because you get better coverage. If you want a lighter coverage, go in with the beauty blender. But if you want what we want right now, which is a fairly decent coverage, full coverage, go in with that brush and just blend it out. And make sure you guys do blend down the neck a little bit. You don't want to have any harsh lines along the chin unless you're putting there intentionally with contouring. But once you're in a competition state, you're not really going to need to chisel anything because everything is going to be chiseled already. If you see this jawline, it's ridiculous. It's out of this world.
Oh my god.
Face me a little bit.
I want it more chiseled.
We'll bronze it up, don't worry. Usually when I do foundations on other people, I actually don't directly put foundation onto the nose because that's usually where a lot of people get cakey first. So just take over the left, what's on your brush, brush it off a little bit, and then just blend it onto the nose afterwards. So you still get a little bit of color coverage, but you don't have the cakiness on it. So now we're going to do a little bit of contouring. So for this, I'm still going to be going in with this palette, and I'm going to mix these kind of darker shades here. Fix that. And so where the cheekbone is, you're going to go just below it and push in. And since when you're on stage, you usually have lights coming from down, and you're also going to have lights coming from in front as well. You want to make sure that you're not bringing it too low, because then it's going to look like your whole face is just completely dark. And you also don't want to bring it too far in, because then it's going to give you, it makes the apples of your cheeks look like they're protruding from your face, which you also don't want. You want it to look very natural. You want it to just look like, yes, I have high cheekbones. I was born with them. And using creams, cream contours and cream highlights first before you set everything is going to make this last all day. And we are going to go in later on with a powder bronzer as well. And we're just going to make sure that everything is not easily saturated by intense light. Face one that way. So you can see right here, we're just creating a line. But as we're tapping, we're diffusing it, kind of melding it in. So it's there, but once you turn and face forward, it just gives your face a really nice angle to it. Okay, now for the jawline, we are going to do a little bit. So we're going to take the lighter shade here. That way. And right where the back of the jaw is right here, we're going to put a little bit there.
Did you say that's the darker or the lighter?
Lighter one. So what that's going to do is, face forward, that's actually going to take some of the harshness out, so it's going to give you a more feminine line. A lot of times with competitors, you're so lean that it can give you a very strong, somewhat masculine jawline. So we want to make it a little bit more feminine, make it a little bit more softer. So we're just going to go right here and cancel it out a little bit. We still want to have the strong jawline, but it just gives it a softer look. And because we do have all the lights that come face forward, I want to hit a little bit on the chin, just so it doesn't completely cancel out your chin when the when the light hits it. Yeah, there we go. Coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Now for highlighting color, you don't want to go in with something that is so light that it's going to give you like a white looking face. So we're actually going to be taking a shade that's about one shade lighter than the foundation color. Okay. And we're going to be hitting right under the eyes, but we're not going to be dragging it down too much because we still want to have the skin tone come through. And then we're going to be taking the brush that we used for foundation and just kind of blending everything together. Starting with the lightest, so our highlight shades, start with blending those first. And then we're going to blend into the contour. And then for setting powders, we're actually going to be going in with two different colors. One of them is going to be Cashew, and the other one is Butter, both from Fenty Beauty. Now, it's good to go in with a darker setting powder when you are darkening up your skin tone quite a bit. And reason being is once you have that bright of lights on you, you want to make sure that you're not getting any kind of flashback. You're going to have a lot of photography that day, you're going to have a lot of people looking at you, and you want to make sure that any kind of lighting that you're in, you look good in. So we're going to go in first with just a little bit of butter. And this one we are only going to put right under the eyes, like that. We're going to mix the two. And put those on the spots that we highlighted. So right in the center of the forehead. Right above the lip and right on the chin. And then we're going to take a fluffy brush and take cashew and set the rest of the face. And then we are going to take a bit of bronzer. So with the bronzer, just making sure that you're keeping it on this part here and brushing it upwards. Now for blush, you want to make sure that it is a matte blush. You're going to have a lot of, again with the lights, you want to make sure that you're playing towards the light. You don't want to have a blush that is shimmery, a bronzer that's shimmery, and then have a highlight on top of that. Because then as soon as you go onto stage in the competition, you're just gonna look greasy. So we don't want that. We want to have very purposeful highlighter. So for now, we're gonna keep everything matte, and then at the end we are going to add just a little bit of highlight. So going in with the Scott Barnes blush palette, we're gonna kind of mix these three colors together because we want it to look, we want to put color back into the face. So we are going to use a lot of blush, but when it's all said and done and you get onto the stage, it's actually going to look very muted. And again, we want to pull the face up. We want everything to look very chiseled. We want everything to look very pretty and feminine. So this is actually going to blend into the bronzer. Turn your face that way. So we're going to start here, and we're just going to start tapping it in. And smile. And we're going to hit the apples very lightly, not much. And then bringing it up into the temples just a little bit. So that already brought a lot of color back into her face, which is what we want. I know this is going to seem weird, but we're going to put the teeniest amount of blush right on the end and right on the bottom of the chin, just to bring more color to the face. Now for highlight, you don't want to take anything that is really glittery. You want to take something that just has a sheen to it. So we're going to go in with, this is Cookie from Benefit, and it has a little bit of a pink tone to it, which is going to complement the blush really well. And we want it to be a really, we don't want it to go on too heavy. So we're going to take a fan brush, take a little bit, tap some on your hand, turn that way, and then we're only going to be putting it right here, right on the top. And then we're going to go a little bit into the brow bone. So we're creating a little V right here. And that's going to be the only place that you really want to highlight on the cheeks. So that is base. I know everything looks super intense, but that is what you want, especially for competitions. You're going to have so many lights on you, and we just basically want your face to look like it has shape on stage. You don't want to have just a blank canvas. You want to have some dimension in there. You want to have color in your face, a little bit of sheen, not too much because you don't want to look greasy. And yeah, so that is it for base. And now we're going to move on to eyes and lips.